Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NBA Trailblazers at Nuggets. We've got a promo code. It's conference tournament season in college basketball, and every team is on upset alert. So the code is upset for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. Denver favored at home -7.5. The total is 231. Blazers 18-11 on the year, 16-13 against the number. Nuggets are 16-14. 13-17 against the spread. Nuggets a little bit thin here with Paul Millsap out, Gary Harris out, PJ Dozier out, and they've lost 3 of their last 4. Meanwhile, Blazers won and covered in 6 of their last 7. And also a really solid team on the road as they are 10-5 on the road straight up. We've got Nick from the Insider's Room to break this one all down for us. Nick, we talked a little bit in our last video about some of these trends and how much stock you put in them. Some of the trends are pointing towards the Blazers here, but I know you might have some other thoughts. So what's the play here?
I do have some other thoughts. I like Denver here. You mentioned some of the guys that are out for Denver. I mean, Portland has a few guys out as well. And yeah, it's playing the second game of the back-to-back. And I mean, fatigue is going to play a factor here at this point of the season. And so, yeah, what sticks out to me in this game is that Denver has not been very good against the spread the last month. Yeah, it's just 3-7 against the spread its last 10. It managed a 120-103 victory at Cleveland on the 19th, but then it lost 123-115 at Atlanta 2 nights later. But this is the first matchup between the clubs this season. But I do think that Denver is going to find a way to pull it out here. That is in large part because the Blazers play tonight on Monday as we tape this. Portland, it did lose 118-111 to a red-hot Wizards team previous to that. And after this game with Denver, they have a contest at the Lakers. So they have a sort of a look-ahead spot here as well against the defending champion Lakers. Denver, it's been better at home. It's 8-6 at home. The Blazers, as you mentioned, they've been really good on the road. They're 10-5. But yeah, I think that, they're undermanned. They're playing the second game of this back-to-back. They're taking on a Denver team, which hasn't been that great of late. And so, yeah, I think as far as the side is concerned here, I think that's going to be enough for Denver to cover this it's not a huge spread, but it's a mid-sized spread here.
Right. I think the key here for the Nuggets is, as always, it's going to be Jokic because it seems like even though some nights he'll score 45 and they can still lose. So maybe that's not always the case, but I don't know who's guarding him here. And that's usually the case most every night. I know Enes Kanter is there for the Blazers, usually pretty solid at getting rebounds, but the Blazers are already very thin when it comes to men down low with Nurkic and Collins out. And just in general, they've been thin all season. I think that's kind of why they've been so good against the number as of late, because with McCollum out, it looks like they're very thin on paper and they're not getting a whole lot of credit. But at some point, I think that trend's got to correct itself. I think this is a buy low spot for the Nuggets. I'm not sure if I like them here just because they look so bad against the Hawks. I think it's put a lot of stress on Jokic. Like, if he doesn't have a good night, the Nuggets are not going to have a good night because they have absolutely no depth with all of those guys being out. But they're back at least. They have been a little bit better at home. As I mentioned, the Blazers have been really good on the road, though. Any leanings on a total here of 231?
I'm going to go with the under. Denver has seen the total go under in 8 of its last 11 home games after allowing 120 or more points in a straight up and against the spread road loss in its last outing. So to correlate along with my pick on the Nuggets, I expect the home side to sort of control the pace here. I expect the Blazers to be tired. And so ultimately, I think that'll translate into sort of a slower paced game, which will ultimately go under the number once it's all said and done.
Well, and also if it's a blowout, I think blowouts have been the biggest killer of overs in most NBA games, because if it's a blowout, it seems like the other team just gives up and rest their starters. So that's going to do it for our NBA talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great insight, as always, from Nick from the Insider's Room. Nick, thanks for joining us.